Hi, today's literacy lesson is going to be brought to you by Story Cubes. I use Story Cubes to make stories, and we're going to use it today so we can make our own story, to become authors. So, in the box, we have, let's see how many, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 dice, and each dice has 6 different pictures. We're going to shake the dice and make our own story using the pictures, and the rule is we have to use all the pictures that we get. No cheating. So today, if you have all 9 dice, it's a very long story, we're going to use 5 dice today. So let's choose them, let's shake them. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dice. Put the rest back, give them a shake, and see what we're going to get today. Okay, so let's have a look. Right, so we have a torch, or ch, torch, or ch, torch. Now this one here, what's that one there? It's arrows. I think it's a compass. 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 Yeah. Next one, we have an arrow. Arrow. Here we have a phone. We have a phone. And last, you can see that picture. It's someone with someone behind. I think that's a monster. Right, this is what we have to work with. We have a torch, a compass, an arrow, a phone, and a monster. So, first thing we need is a character. Who's the star of the story? Let's see. Who's this? What shall we call them? Who's this person? Bump. What's her name? Let's call her Sue. Like for Simon, but for Sue. This is Sue. There we go. Well, just move that across a little bit so we can get Sue's name in. There you go, Sue. Okay. Now, so we need a location. Where is Sue? Where's she going? Where'd she live? That's next. Claire, I'm going to go for. She lives in the forest. The forest. Once upon a time, there was a girl called Sue. She was 7 years old, and she lived in the forest. She loved playing in the forest. Whenever she could, she'd go to the forest, climb trees, make dens, and play in the forest. But there was a warning. Mum said, and Dad said, when you go to the forest, make sure you come back before it's dark. There's a moon to show dark, because when it's dark, out comes the monster. Okay, we've used monster. Out comes the monster. Sue was a very brave girl. She wasn't scared of monsters. She said to Mum and Dad, I don't mind monsters. Monsters are fine. I can look after myself. And I'm sure monsters aren't that scary. Anyway, even when it's dark, I can see. And Mum said, how can you see in the dark? And Sue said, because I've got a torch. I turn my torch on and I shine it in the dark and I can see. And if a monster's coming, I will scare it away with my torch. Mum and Dad said, no, monsters aren't frightened of torches. Be very careful. So Sue said, okay, I promise to be back before dark. The next day was a lovely day. It was a Tuesday, and off Sue went to the forest. She played for hours and hours, enjoying herself. Sue always brought with her her torch, but also her compass. Her compass was very helpful because it always pointed the way home. Whenever she was worried about where to go, she got out her compass and looked and saw which way was home. But she was fine. It got darker and darker, and she climbed trees and climbed lots of trees. And little did she know, she dropped her compass. Oh no. Anyway, it started to get dark, and Sue went, I probably should go home now. I promised Mum and Dad I'd be home before dark. So she climbed down from the tree, she put in her hand in her pocket to get her compass, but it wasn't there. There was no compass. The compass had gone. She got out a torch, turned it on, and started walking. But even with the torch, she didn't know where to go. The forest looked really different at night time. It looked completely different. So Sue started to get more and more scared. Here's Sue now. There we are. But she's not very happy. She's sad. And look, she's crying. She's crying because she doesn't know where to go. And she promised Mum and Dad that she'd be home in time. But now she's lost in the forest. She sat down by a tree, started to cry, and didn't know what to do. Suddenly, she heard, it was the monster. There are, there's our monster. What does our monster look like? Let's think. Well, he's very hairy. There we are. Got beady eyes, like that. It's got a cross face. He's very hairy. There we go. There's our monster. In the dark, she was shy, and Sue shone her torch around and couldn't see the monster, but she could hear the monster coming. What would she do? She got up and she started to run. She was running and running as fast as she can, and suddenly she saw a light in the distance. She ran, and it was a house, and she knocked on the door. She said, quick, help, there's a monster. The door opened, and in was a little old lady. And the little old lady said, come in. I'll look after you. So Sue went inside and was safe with the lady. The lady had, what did she have? A phone. There's our phone. And Sue phoned her mum and dad and said, I'm really sorry. I got lost in the forest and I dropped my compass and the monster was coming. But a little old lady helped. So the mum and dad said, don't worry, we'll come and get you. So Sue sat there, had a lovely bowl of soup with the old lady, and mum and dad came, and mum and dad were carrying a bow and arrow because they were good and they could protect Sue from the monster. There's an arrow. Mum and dad found the house, knocked on the door, and there was Sue. And she was so happy. So no, not sad anymore. She's now E. Happy to see Mum and Dad. And she went home and she promised never to be out late ever again. Otherwise the monster will eat you. And there's our story. So let's check we've used all the dice today. We used the torch. Sue had a torch. Let's draw a torch in her hand. There's Sue's torch, shining nice and brightly there. We used the compass that Sue used to get home, but she dropped it. We used the arrow. Mum and Dad had a bow and arrow to frighten off the monster. We used phone, because Sue had the old lady phone Mum and Dad for her. And we had monster, because that's the monster that Sue saw or heard in the forest. There we go. Snip, snap, snout. The story's out. That's right. The end. Now, we wrote that story using those 5 things. I think you could probably write a better story with those 5 things, or even a couple of them. Can you think of a story with a monster in it? Can you think of a story with a phone in it, or an arrow, or a compass, or a torch? Have a try. See you later. Bye-bye.